Hey guys, welcome to another video. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to look into more details about the unusual missing cases of missing people. So this is about the crazy distances that these people are covering as they go missing, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, especially when it comes to kids and children between 2 and 5. We all know kids have a lot of energy. I have nieces that used to be that age. Now they're a little older, but they would tire me out very quickly. However, that's not the point. The point is that when it came to any type of hike or long walk, or you have to go, all the way, you have to cover these 30 blocks, guys. So get ready. They would immediately get a frown on their face. They would get, "Can you carry me?" That would be a big request. And "Are we there yet?" would be the things you would hear a lot, right? So let's not delude ourselves and believe that when left to their own devices in the wild with no adults around, these kids all of a sudden spring up this Superman energy and employ it to cover 10, 20 miles in 24 hours. Okay? Because that's BS and we all know it. That's not happening. All right? Especially through wilderness and areas that are very, very difficult to cross on a good day with a lot of energy, resources, knowledge of the terrain, and good, boots and everything going your way, right? That's very difficult to do, let alone without that. So this is one of those profile points that gets almost not overlooked, but it doesn't get the amount of attention it deserves because it's just so surreal. I mean, it took David Paulides the task of asking a live audience that had children, obviously, a lot of these were parents, and it took him this thing. He basically asked them straight out, am I out to lunch on this? Am I like, fishing here? Do you guys agree that these kids couldn't have covered these distances, or do you think I'm just out to lunch and your kids do it all the time after school? And everybody agreed, no, there's no way these children could have covered 10, 15 miles, 19 miles in one case in 24 hours. There's no way. Without some kind of help or some kind of force or someone, even not even someone in some cases, helping them to cover that distance. All right. You could even argue when the bodies were found above the spot that they were last seen, like as in Jared Adadero's case, which was very sad, very tragic. To get upwards, to get up there, so not necessarily away from there, but up over 500 feet was incredibly tough for anybody, let alone a kid of Jared's age. And this topic of this distance covered that's not realistic is just not getting enough attention, because that alone separates these cases into their own little group. But the profile is obviously much more elaborate, which I'm going to obviously get into with other videos. But this specific distance item that is not discussed at length, and especially not in the news clippings, when things actually finalize and they find a body, after, and there's a story or some kind of newspaper article, they very seldom make a big deal about this. They just say, well, they found the body, which is great, and I agree, there's some closure, absolutely, but very rarely do they stick to that and say, well, this person was found with no shoes, and yet they were found 18 miles away from the one they were last seen only 2 days later. So they did 9 miles a day with no shoes, and they were 3 years old. And no one just kind of states the obvious that this was not possible to achieve just by their lonesome. That there must have been some other force acting in this sphere. Okay, so this is the thing that has to be looked much closer. It has to be put under the microscope a lot more than it has in the past, because at this stage of the game, it's just another one of those where people shrug and say, "Well, I don't know. It's just that's just the way it is." So, especially for all you skeptics and critics out there, please comment below after you go out to the backcountry, with a backpack or with out, whatever, and at the trailhead, take off your shoes and your socks, so you're barefoot, and pick a trail that has a trail. Pick a some kind of hiking trail, and tell me how you do a mile in with no shoes on, and how much distance you covered. I mean, how much time it took you to cover that 1 mile. Okay, comment below, and we can actually get going on some real world boots on the ground, feet on the ground comparisons, right? Versus not, because that's just ridiculous, right? Because people will sit there and say, "Oh, kids these days, give them a cup of coffee and they'll run to the moon." Okay, well, let's we like to joke and make light of situations. Let's actually see what the proof is. If we can get something on video or something, great, or some kind of statistic that can be compared to, awesome. But until we have that, just please be quiet on that topic, because you're making no sense, okay, when you make these claims. These people could not have traveled that distance in that amount of time, often with no shoes. Okay, let's leave it at that, and let's look at the alternatives of what could have made that distance happen. Okay, let's look at that, and then when we eliminate the obvious, then we can look at what actually is left, which is not much, as we have always said of these cases. Okay, so this is, again, this is me signing off. Your comments are always welcome here. Leave them below, and remember, these are not common things. Okay, so whatever you provide, whatever you comment, I would just ask you to not go into the areas that have already been suggested hundreds of times, that have been disproven, like animal attacks and some kind of drug cartel or serial killer. That does not compute. Okay, so let's leave those out and let's look at the stuff that's left over. All right, I'll be looking forward to your comments, and I'll talk to you soon with another video.